Hey, good morning, Monday Movie Club fans and Cringer. This week is Mark's Choice Aliens, plural, which I guess is our Halloween selection since it's Halloween. I'm Frank Gaffney. Here with me is Fenster. I'm Dickens, he's Fenster.
Yeah,
Amy King.
there's a reference that no one's going to get.
I think Amy knows I'm Dickens, he's Fenster, right? You've heard of it. No.
Yeah.
All right. Amy Goldman and Cringer, of course. And Mark Wotitz Gardner, who's actually in Florida, but has a court order to stay 100 miles away from me. That's why we're not in the Zoom together.
It's true.
Okay, Mark, why aliens? It seems like James Cameron is your boy.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
watched T2, and now we're watching Aliens.
Well, because T2 and Aliens are my top two sci-fi movies of all time. And for this one specifically, I think it's got one of the greatest ending 20 minutes of a movie. If you're anything of an action fan, spectacular.
Okay, so writer-director James Cameron takes over the Alien franchise from Ridley Scott and turns it from a claustrophobic space cat and mouse game to a rip-roaring, take no prisoners battle. And it really is quite the battle. Cameron spends enough time to get us, to know all the characters, even though his dialogue is hokey. And then, of course, he picks them off one by one, much like the original, I think. So our group of Marines are led by Ripley, the lovely Sigourney Weaver, in an Oscar-nominated role for her. And she is the iconic, fierce Tiger Mom, before Tiger Mom was even a thing. At first to her cat, and now to Newt, a young girl who has managed to survive the alien attacks. So, Ripley has been in space for 57 years, but I guess her hyperbolic chamber only aged her 7 years because she doesn't look 80. And we all need to get one of those. And how is the cat still alive? Same thing. The cat was in a hyperbolic chamber.
Yeah.
All right. And of course, Cameron has to take the iconic scene, John Hurt and the alien popping out, and turn it into your typical, oh my God, dream sequence.
That's one of my least favorite parts of the whole movie.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And of course I cracked up when Sigourney Weaver said, "How many times can I tell the same story?" I was like, well, given that there's 2 sequels, 2 prequels, 2 crossover movies, I'd say 8.
Nope. She's only in 4 of them, and the last 2 are nothing like the others.
And now that Disney owns Fox, they're also developing a streaming series. I guess she's not involved in that. And can somebody please explain to me, when they get on the plane, what the hell is combat seating? Is that a thing?
If you don't know, Frank, we're not going to tell you.
And don't even get me started on the timeline of events with this freaking colony with the aliens. And at one point, Sigourney Weaver says, how long till we can get rescued? 17 days. So then why'd they go to hypersleep if they only were 17 days away?
That was so from Earth to the planet is a different distance from a potential rescue unit that could already be in space to the planet.
Oh, like the Carpathian and the Titanic.
There you go.
Okay. But the same thing with I Am Newt. How did she was the only one that survived? Was it just yesterday that she was the last one left? Because
I think they said that they started that colony up, I don't know, 25 years ago or something like that with families. So she was just born, 10 years ago. And then the aliens all came alive in the last couple of, months or days or whatever it was.
Yeah, because she won that little award. She looked exactly the same age she is now.
Well, you got to go with the idea that they're being put to sleep to make the trip from Earth to. Forgive me for not remembering the designation plan. Colony. And that it could take a week or a month to get there, and that's why they're asleep. So they're not utilizing any resources on the ship that they'll have them for once they land. So
Yeah, but I think they were on that colony. They were on that planet for a bit, setting up the, Earth, oxygen breathing air.
no, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about Ripley and the Marines. Why, Frank's asking why they had to be asleep. And I'm saying probably for, and it's not like it took them 17 years to get there or something. It took them maybe, a week or a month or something, probably more along the lines of a month. And they put them to sleep so that they're not wasting any resources in the process because they're asleep
on the
ship. So that, when Ripley says at the end, that Newt spent more time evading these aliens than the 17 days it's going to take them to get rescued potentially when Hudson's complaining at the end of the movie, that kind of.
I think it's just an excuse for Cameron to put yet another female lead in a braless tank top.
Sure.
Probably right.
Okay, so then Burke gives Bishop the keep the specimens alive order, but he didn't give him the order to not tell Ripley because she's gonna freak out. He should have said, "And don't tell her." And then the whole thing happened, with the Queen. Of course, Sigourney Weaver sees all the eggs and she uses her flamethrower. I mean, why? They're gonna get blown up in 5 seconds. Who cares?
I know.
Why? Okay, but the regular aliens can climb walls and ceilings, no problem. But the Queen has to take the elevator. She's such a diva.
She's a big girl.
She's such a big girl that they couldn't actually fit the puppet in the elevator. They had to take her apart to get her in there.
Wow.
So Ripley and Newt get to the landing area and Bishop gets skewered. And every geek in the audience is yelling, "Queen takes Bishop." I thought that was very funny. Okay. And of course it seems like a silly line to me now, but get away from her, bitch. You bitch. But at the time it was like,
Yeah.
Okay, and then of course the Queen then, spoiler alert, stop watching if you haven't seen it. The Queen gets jettisoned into space, screaming the entire way out. What happened to in space? No one can hear you scream.
That went out the window with hearing laser shots in Star Wars in space and explosions in Star Trek in space.
But that was not the alien universe.
No, but
okay. Well, the other thing that the sequel really does have in common with the original is the unbearable tension. I mean, it really, and I mentioned this last week when we were discussing it. You really are, that last 20 minutes, you are on the edge of your seat. You're like, oh my God, the entire time. Annie, weren't you screaming at the TV? Oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah, there were parts definitely
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I meant last week, that it was, it was quite the suspenseful movie. And yes, of course, for all the newts that I'm picking, I'm still giving it 3.5 stars. It really is it's a great fun, stupid movie, but for me, it's great fun. And yeah, Sammy remembers this was a big Fox movie. We were crazy for this movie, so we absolutely loved it. And I don't have a pen to write down your reviews, so don't say any.
You want me to write them down?
We're done. If I had an assistant. All
Okay,
right.
I'll be your assistant.
wow.
He just left. Goodbye. No, it's not coming back. All right, so let's go to the newbie. Annie, did you love it?
No, again, it's not my thing,
It's a boy movie. It's a boy movie.
No, and I would say I love Terminator. I love Terminator 2. I really love that, To me, it was really dark, and some of the scenes just I couldn't figure out who was where and everything. It was kind of dark, and so it wasn't as scary.
Wait a minute. Had you seen the first movie, Alien?
No.
You never saw either.
No. So maybe I should go back and watch that, but I don't think so.
It's definitely creepier than this one.
It is
Yeah.
creepy.
You know, I'm not a fan of movies that make me jump, which happens, you know, a lot here.
Yeah,
So
we need a pen.
it's it was fine. I watched it, although I do have to say that I fell asleep 30 minutes in, and then I had to start it over, you know, rewatch it again the next day. So it was a little slow for me. It could have been the 2 drinks I had before I started watching it. But yeah, no, it's fine. I watched it. It's okay. What I did do also was Netflix has a series called Movies That Make Us.
Yeah.
And one of them, they talked about aliens. So I watched that also to understand it. And it's fine. Some of it I was like kind of predictable. And then there were other parts where I jumped and, you know, screamed. But I wouldn't watch it again. It's not something that would interest me to watch
Right,
again.
well, how big a screen did you watch it on?
Oh, that's a boy thing. I don't know. This big?
Oh, okay.
It
It makes a
it wasn't
difference.
her phone or iPad or laptop.
Yes.
Yeah.
This movie, it definitely makes a difference.
Yes, it was my
This
big one. So, but yeah, no, I give it a 3. I watched it. It was, you know, somewhat enjoyable, but just not my thing. And which is strange because I love Terminator, and I've seen like the Predator movies and stuff, which this reminded me of a little, you know.
Annie, did you enjoy the ending, just the building action at all? No. Okay.
Amy, so I said we were at Fox when this was happening. You remember all of that crazy?
This came out in 86, right?
Yeah.
I remember all the hype because of you. I didn't start till 89.
Oh, okay.
But I think I might have even gone to a screening, and I just remember loving it.
I'm sure.
Um,
It got great reviews too.
Yeah, yeah.
And an Oscar nomination for Sigourney Weaver.
As you said. But yeah, when you knew Get Away From Her Bitch was coming, when she went into the thing at the beginning of the movie to show that she could work, I was like, oh, this line is so corny. But I have to say, and for the first time in 22 months and 88 to 90 movies that we've watched, I didn't get to watch this one again. I started it, and as soon as we hang up, I'm going to go back and start over and give you my stars. I'm sure it's going to be at least 3, 3.25. Because I just remember loving it. And I did start watching it, and then things came off, and I had to leave.
Wait,
And I only had one shot to watch it last night, and that was it.
Isn't that a line from the Brady Bunch? Something came up.
Something suddenly came up.
Can I also remind you that you have 7 fucking days to watch a movie?
Thank you.
Well, this week,
Man,
Thursday night I had plans, Friday night I had plans, and Monday through Wednesday, I don't like to watch a movie because I'll never remember what to say on Sunday.
No, but
I like to always watch from Thursday or Friday on.
Amy, I often watch them on Sunday through Tuesday, but I take notes because if I don't take notes, it's gonna be gone. Just jot down a few things as you're watching it, and you can kind of go back and.
I sometimes do take notes. I need to go back to really doing it more often.
I always take notes, obviously.
Oh,
But most of the movies we're watching, I've seen before, so I don't mind taking notes. I mean, if it's your first time, you might not want to take notes.
I always hit pause.
Do you?
Yes.
So that's it for you. Then.
That's it for me. But you'll have my star, so you can write it in the top tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm going to tell you. You
know what? Bye.
I'm going to say you were derelict in your duties.
I was.
Don't
I shirked.
Give a star rating.
I'm
You're
a shirker.
You're a shirker. Joel, you would never shirk us, would you?
No, I actually, not only did I watch the entire movie, I watched the extended cut because I'm sure you were all stuck with the director, the theatrical cut on Stars because you all watched it on Stars, right?
Yeah.
I watched it yesterday morning. I've seen the movie a number of times, so I was like not worried about it. But with the kids and the dogs, it actually took me 4.5 hours to get through that fucking movie.
I think that was the original cut.
Yeah, no.
How long is the actual cut?
The theatrical cut's 2:17. The
Extended.
The extended cut is 2:34.
2:18.
Yeah, 2:18. It's two.
And
It's
they had
just
to
over
issue a
2.5
new
hours.
DVD. 2:30.
It's about 2:30.
And
And
what is there's a director's cut too?
no, there's only 2 cuts of the film.
Oh, okay.
Mark was making a joke.
Well,
It just-
what's in that other 18 minutes?
Got it.
So the other 18 minutes is made up of, it's mostly character stuff. That's actually interesting. Like Ripley has a daughter. And
Oh, so that's how she relates to Newt.
that's how she relates to Newt, because when Ripley is brought back to Earth, there's a conversation between her and Burke. She had asked Burke to find her daughter for her so she could reunite.
Ah.
And her
Amanda,
daughter-
right?
She died 2 years
Got a
ago
cancer.
at the age of 62.
Oh,
So-
wait, I remember that. I must have seen the longer cut.
Okay.
Well,
You also get scenes of Newt and her family on the planet discovering the.
Joel, you stepped right on my joke. I
What?
wasn't.
No, I didn't care. Go ahead, Frank, finish your joke.
No, it's too late.
Okay.
I think I saw that version too, or at least we've had this conversation on Facebook.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
maybe,
Totally remember
maybe,
that.
maybe I read the notes because, yes, the daughter's name was Amanda, and what we did not know that Ripley's last name, married last name, was Hug and Kiss.
Right.
Amanda Hug and Kiss. Ah.
Was that the joke you were trying to get out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amanda Hug and Kiss. Get it?
Yeah, it's an old joke, Frank.
Thanks, Mo.
Um, hey, Joe, you post dad jokes. I only tell them.
Anyway, there's a scene where Newt's family finds the derelict spaceship from the first film, and you kind of get how that's, where the colonists kind of screwed up things.
Oh, the same time.
There's a great scene where the towards the end, where it's just Hudson, Vasquez, Gorman, Hicks. They've kind of trapped themselves in one area so they can keep the aliens out, and they set up these 2 remote guns down 2 hallways, and it just adds to the tension as the aliens are enclosing on where they are, and the guns are just firing off round after round after round, and they're watching, and we're watching the computer count down how many rounds are left in each gun, so that the panic is just kind of setting in. There's a couple of other little bits in here and there, but it's yes, it makes the film longer. It doesn't make it any worse. It's not longer by much. The film is still very much a roller coaster ride, and it's a fun roller coaster ride from start to finish. I love this film. It's just a great movie. And
The other thing I remember at the time was casting Paul Reiser
Mhm.
because he was just a stand-up comedian. So
Yep.
to get him to play the villain was quite the interesting choice.
And I like the fact, and I think it's a little more played out in the extended version, is that you can feel there's something a little off about his character, but you don't really know that he's the villain until
Yeah,
you find out that he's been giving the orders that we're going to bring back the
yeah,
samples live, we're going to do this, and then you're like, okay, he's just really nasty and creepy, until you find out he's really evil because he sets up
Right.
Ripley in the med lab with the face huggers,
right.
and
And
it's like,
he just had them hanging around. He just
well, no, they were in the med lab.
and then you go, oh,
And then he gets
Like-
his just desserts, thankfully. So
Yeah, they said that they wanted to pick someone who you would never think was the bad guy.
Yeah.
exactly.
That's perfect.
and I think some of the
And I definitely remember seeing this in a movie theater and the roar of applause when he got his comeuppance
yes.
was deafening.
I don't have much else to say. It's I'm vacillating. I'm gonna give it a 3.9, not quite 4, but just to drive Frank crazy.
And Barry Hattrick.
It's
Yeah.
it's not a 3.9 movie, Joel. Sorry,
Yes,
you're
it
wrong.
is. It is.
Because there are too many things that are wrong with this movie.
I don't think so. But anyway,
That James Cameron does not know how to write a script.
I would disagree, but we'll disagree to disagree.
And I learned that the crew hated him.
Every crew
Yeah.
hates him.
Yeah.
Titanic cast
he is,
hated, everybody hates
awful.
him.
It's
He is,
awful.
he is when he puts the dick in dictator.
Ah,
That's
I didn't know where you were going with that.
yeah, I had a brain fart for a second, but yes,
Alright.
he is
Okay.
not the he's from what I understand, he's mellowed over the years. There's some people who have gone back to work with him after having massive issues.
Yeah.
And there are some people who just loved working with him. It's like, you're nuts, kid. You know,
I completely understand that, being a director myself, that you want to get everything right, but you don't have to be an asshole about it.
no,
So
you don't. I mean, he treated the it's understandable that coming from American movies to a British film studio where the movie was shot, the British film unions have certain rules that they have to abide by. And
Fine.
having tea every day at 4.
Exactly.
He hated that.
yeah, exactly. You know, and I don't think I don't know if you read the quote that he said to them on the last day when he was, heading out the door. Is like, the thing that got him through the shoot was that he gets to leave and they all have to stay there. Something to that effect.
Wow.
Okay, that just cements the dickness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's So, but
Yeah.
again, there are people who really like working with him. So
Well, even
Okay.
Schwarzenegger said, the famous prank that Danny DeVito pulled on him. He got Schwarzenegger high by
Yeah.
putting pot in
The weed.
on the set or something of Twins. Yeah, and
Twins.
yeah.
and Schwarzenegger said, thank God it was with Ivan Reitman. If that was Jim, it would have gone a different way.
Oh yeah.
Well, I
DeVito
guess
probably dead at this point.
I guess Mark, you can put the rest of his oeuvre in our queue for next year, because he doesn't have that many more movies.
Don't
Watch
make
them all.
me put Avatar in there.
The Abyss, Avatar, Terminator 1, and Titanic. That's it.
True Lies and
I
Piranha.
have-
And
You know, as you
Piranha
list
2,
all his movies, I'm with Mark. I'm like, I love that one. Check, love that one, love them all.
I already submitted True Lies for next year, so I'm going to keep going.
but Cameron is a very talented Michael Bay.
Ah,
Or we go the reverse, is that Michael Bay is a very untalented James Cameron. But
okay. Well, Michael Bay does know how to explode things, so
that's
a
pretty
deep
much
guy,
it. Yes.
one inside. All right, Mark G, go on.
I'll start by saying, number one, I
Wait,
apologize.
now let's first start with showing everyone the rest of the shirt, because they can see Morning Wood, but Morning Wood Campgrounds, the perfect place to pitch a tent. And then what does it say under that?
I don't know, just nonsense.
Can't read it.
It's a fake national park.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you think it's fake?
Surprise. Anyway, I apologize. I have more notes. I don't know why. I just have more notes than I've ever written before. And this is not my favorite movie. Obviously, Princess Bride is more. But I'll start off by saying, Joel, even I appreciate your take on it, but even I'm going to give it 3.75 stars. I love this movie. Love it. Obviously, I submitted it. But I wouldn't say it's,
I just went that high because to piss off Frank. That was all.
It's no Princess Bride.
then I respect that, Frank. I mean, Joel. So the opening shot, Danielle said, "Oh, look, a sparkly space helmet." And since the whole damn ship was sparkly because it was all frozen, I thought maybe Natasha was on board and set off a glitter bomb.
Yeah, she would be nowhere near this movie.
No, okay. I think the reason I like it so much is it's the colorful characters and the actors behind it. In addition to all the action, you really get the character development, which helps. And there are so many big one-liners. I love the one-liners. I do them all the time.
What, like, get away from her, you bitch?
No. Sergeant Apone, who I love, just look into my eye. I do that to Danielle at least once a month.
But Vasquez was not Spanish. She was Jewish.
She has a little bit of Latin blood in her.
Don't we all?
And she's also, we all just saw her a few weeks ago as Jolene, John Connor's foster mom in Terminator 2, and she's the Irish mom who dies with the two kids in Titanic. Yeah, she's a chameleon.
She's one of those crazy people that likes working with Jim Cameron.
Yeah. Well, if that's all you've got, and Jim Cameron's like, "When's my next blockbuster?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!"
It's the only job she could get.
Yeah. And again, I can't not repeat mostly whenever somebody says mostly. It's just they even did that in South Park. So, I don't know, iconic to me. I think the creature special effects mostly held up, but it's very obvious that they're human. Huh?
Mostly.
Perfect, thank you. Some scenes are very obvious that they're humans in the alien costume at times, doing flips and stuff. I think James Cameron definitely steals from himself and the Terminator franchise. You got Hyperdyne versus Cyberdyne, and like I said, you know, his leads walking around in a tank top.
Mark, that wasn't that was stealing from himself, and he had to change it. Originally, it was supposed to be Cyberdyne. They were making the actual connection, and from what I understand, the legal can change it because they don't have the
Rights to it.
rights.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's perfect.
That would have
Good
been
for
fun.
Lawyers screwing everything up.
Again, I thought the ensemble cast is fantastic. Sigourney and Hendrickson, to me, those are my two favorite. But Michael Biehn and Bill Paxton really helped bring the heart and humor. And
Wait a
Paul
minute.
Rudd-
I don't know how Bill Paxton ever got another role after his performance in this movie. He was
In
just
this movie, he was-
ridiculous.
Oh no,
He's
his
supposed to be.
a
Yeah.
year before that as Chet in Weird Science. I'm surprised he got this role, but he was funny in this. He's part of the reason I love this movie. He's hilarious. You'll
Terrible.
like him better in True Lies.
Terrible acting.
Whatever.
I agree with you, Mark.
Thank you. And I thought it's nice to see Paul Reiser back now in another sci-fi with Stranger Things, and this time being truly a sincere character. So,
Spoiler,
huh?
spoiler alert, because they flipped it. Because you see him and you think, oh, he's going to be the villain. Because he's the
Perfect.
villain. Yeah, and then they flipped it. So
Perfect.
that's a spoiler alert.
It's years old already.
Stranger Things was just this year.
He's been around. He's been on it since the second season.
And that's like 5 years ago at this point, right?
Is it? Or-
All right. What else? All the ducks in there and Newt's hidey hole make me a bit claustrophobic, and I'm not claustrophobic, but it definitely got me like, oh, they're going into a small hole there. Now again, the second half. I saw this. The movie came out in '86. I was only 11. I didn't watch it then. I probably watched it 13, 14, 15, somewhere around there. And again, that whole second half, the machine gun / grenade launcher / the flamethrower taped together. That was like porn to me as a kid. I wanted one of those. I totally wanted one of those. I wanted a blaster when I watched Star Wars. It was perfect for me. And I still want those. And Ripley does the ending fight partially while carrying a kid. I mean, who's more badass than that? That was fantastic. That's full respect right there. And out of the entire movie, the only unbelievable thing for me was Ripley climbing up the ladder during the airlock being open. There's no way you're moving. You're going to get sucked out completely. So that was it for me. I can watch this again tomorrow. 3.75 stars for me.
Well, you could watch it with Amy because she's gonna watch it too.
Amy, we'll do a Netflix watch party later or whatever.
I had something to say, but then I forgot it. All right, so that's it. We watched Aliens. And I do very much like this movie.
Maybe I'll like it more if I watch it again.
But watch
more-
Alien first.
I think, Annie, what you need to do is sit down and watch the whole Ripley quadrilogy over the course of a couple of days, 1 through 4. Then you'll understand this better and you'll appreciate it more once you get to 3. So
There is that. Yeah.
I really didn't mind 3 as much as some people
no,
do.
3 has a lot of issues. It's not as bad, and there's actually a more recent cut of the film that makes it better. Still not perfect, but 4 is just a
Wait, which is the one with Winona Ryder?
4.
Okay.
All right, so Aliens is available on Stars, and if you want to watch it, Mark will give you his passwords.
Or I'll loan you my 4-pack DVD set.
He only has a 4-pack, poor Mark. All right. All right. So next week, and unbeknownst to the people actually in this call right now, I'm changing my movie. I'm changing my movie. So we're not going to watch Little Big Man because that's not the movie I'm up to now.
I already
Mark's-
watched it.
You already watched it?
it?
Oh, how funny. Well, we're not watching it. Did you enjoy it?
You used to that shit. Oh my god.
Oh, gosh.
How many stars, Mark?
1.75 stars.
Ah,
Well, we're not watching it. We are actually going to watch Driving Miss Daisy,
ugh,
Right.
which is on HBO Max.
really?
Okay, I've never seen it.
It's a Best Picture winner. of
Great movie,
1999.
Annie. I just don't want to
What's
watch it
that?
again, but it's a great movie.
Well, don't watch it like you didn't watch this one. That's it. I'm Frank Gaffney. Watch a movie.
Or
Mark,
don't.
get in the car and get down here. Yeah.